Nick and Merlin, thank you so much for your time. And thank you really for bringing back Wallace and Gromit because it's such a big part of my childhood that it just warmed my heart to be able to watch this movie and share it with my family and just it just
Uh,
means so much.
so nice of you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
So, kind of speaking on that, starting on that note, what does it mean to both of you to have the kind of warm welcome back with these characters after having a little bit of a break?
It's always like getting back with good friends
Yeah,
or family.
it's
Yeah.
overwhelming, isn't it?
Yeah.
The response.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I know that when you start to make a film, you kind of have to have confidence in the idea because you'd never get it made otherwise, and other people have faith in the film to invest in it and things like that. But it's always such a breath of fresh air when the people who are most important, which is the audience and the fans, have a warm response. I mean, it kind of
Yeah.
really warms your heart. It's lovely.
Nice. And I think it's as well because it's had so many years now to soak in and so many films. It's coming back after this time. It's like a sudden realization of how much it's become part of people's lives, and like you've said at this beginning, how you grew up with it. It's very moving to. I have to pinch myself because I think back to a grand day out when it all started for me at film school as a student, and to think where it's got to now is so many people watching it. It's wonderful. It's really wonderful, and you have to pinch yourself.
With that in mind, what makes the storytelling so timeless? And in the fact that you could make a movie or film or short film that long ago, and then here we are in 2024, still resonates. I mean, with audiences everywhere, it's British, but at the same time, it's able to have such an impact globally.
Mm. Yeah, it's good to hear that because that's very much how we think. It's very much comes from our roots here. It's our voice, and yet if you do something personal, it's funny how that then becomes universal because you've been true to something.
I think it's exactly
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That it's we're not trying to be anything different. We're telling the stories that come from us, and that the truth behind that is reflected in the films that we make. So yeah, it's very important.
Yeah, so it's very much comes from our soil, our observations about British society and people, the way people are and how they behave. A lot of that might be reality. Some of it might be from the movies we've always watched. You know, um, you know, where the policeman, the stories from Ealing comedies, where there's the policeman on the corner of the street, people trying to knock his hat off and stuff. The funny bobbing. It's all got a quaintness to it, which is quite comforting, and yet very modern things can happen as well. Very, very, whole messages about tech and stuff.
It's all really fun. And if as far as some of your creative decisions, I mean, we see some of these really great, fantastical scenes sometimes of inventions and scenes. In this case, we see garden gnomes. Just tell me, what is the process in choosing some of these sequences because they're very time consuming and complicated to shoot, but yet on screen, you would never know that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a mixture between being story driven. Like, what does the story need? Do we need to make a point in the story, or do we need a plot point that's focused around an invention, or is it just funny? And sometimes the funny wins, and often, but and so it and hopefully a mixture of both, so that when it is story driven, that it is also funny or ridiculous, and fits into Wallace's kind of ethos of contraption making, which is trying to find a most complicated way of doing a very simple job. Yeah, it's
But a lot of work goes into that aspect, doesn't it, of each scene of so you don't have us anywhere where it kind of flatlines. That it's always escalating, even if it doesn't always. You're not always aware that it is, even if it's a slow sort of scene. There's got to be some kind of escalation and reason for the scene. You know, so whenever it gets dramatic, we think of how can we make this funny.
Very, very quickly, I just have to ask you, how in the world do you get Feathers McGraw to emote?
Well, he kind of doesn't, which is the key, really.
Secret.
Yeah. We'd even debate whether he should blink, and really we use the music, we use the camera, we use all the filmmakers' tricks to make this very simple, graphically stylized penguin appear to be thinking, and as well as some extremely talented animators who can just move him the right amount at the right time, as little as possible. That's kind of the key.
Keep him mysterious.
Yeah,
it's very important.
It's so good. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. It means the world to me to get to spend a few minutes with you and to say thank you for bringing this film and for many years of good times for myself. So it was nice to virtually meet you both, and I hope to talk to you again.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Very kind of you. Thank you.